Hello and welcome to Mechwarrior Online. Today I'm doing a review of my Orion IIC. This is a mech I've had for a really long time, and I can't even remember how I acquired it or when I acquired it exactly. It's been at least 8 years. But I can tell you that I eventually came across a couple of different builds that work on this mech really well, and I'm very pleased with them. And when I need to just absolutely put some top damage down on the battlefield, and I'm tired of playing with some of my other mechs, this is one of the ones I go to. This mech is one of the few mechs that has everything. It has ballistic capability, and not just like a couple of machine guns. It has laser capability, and not just anything small with not a lot of room to use. And it has missile capability. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm all about missiles and some lasers, sometimes some ballistics, but rarely. I don't have very good aim, but what I do have is a very good understanding of how to drive missile boats and how to properly manage heat for the most part. And this is no exception. This guy is tough as nails and deserves the blood paint going down the body. Let me show you this build. So I've got 3 ATM-12s. Wow. That is a lot of firepower. And I'm running 2 ER large lasers on it as well. I've got what I would consider an under amount of ammo on board, but I needed it for the double heat sinks because I wanted to be able to do alpha strikes with the 3 ATM-12s. Now, realizing that these do 22 or 24 damage in their optimum setting, at range, at maximum range, that is. But at the better range, which is between 60 meters and 280 meters, these do 30 damage each, which means that's 90 damage just on an alpha strike. So you can see why I like using this build, and I alpha strike these every single time without fail. I'll wait a little bit, I'll do an alpha strike, then I'll do another alpha strike, and that usually brings me to red, and then I'll cool back a little bit. Sometimes I will, depending on if it's a really hot map, I'll put these in cyclet rate. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But most of the time it's just 1, 1, 1. Just firing all of them at the same time. I went with 2 ER large lasers because, not because they have the range, but because they do the damage. So you're getting 11 damage out of each one of these. So you combine that, that's 22, plus the 90 that these are doing on a alpha strike in that close quarter 60 meter to 280 meter, and you combine that together, and that puts me at 112 damage. Yeah. Now I'm not going to fire all of these weapons at once, but that gives you an idea of what the alpha strike on this mech is capable of doing. I'm pretty sure that if you fired all 5 of these at once, which I've done a couple of times, you better make sure your override is turned off because you're going to overheat really quickly. As you can see, I do have room to put a bigger motor on here, but I stay at this because sometimes I switch these out and go with LRM-20s, and I wouldn't have enough ammo room to do that otherwise. So this is a pretty interesting mech, and let me show you the overalls. So the heat management as it sits is 1.32, firepower is 94, speed 69.7, so that's 70 essentially. And because this is not an Omnipod mech, everything is as it is, you get. So C-build bonus plus 30, I don't care about UX damage, but velocity plus 15%, that's nice. Base armor on the center torso is plus 16. Left and right torso is also plus 16 on base armor. Right arm and left arm is plus 8, and for whatever reason, right leg and left leg are also plus 8. Mech top speed plus 7.5%. That's really actually kind of nice when you think about it. So it does have some interesting quirks, and it does have some decent amount of armor. And you got to remember, this is a clan mech. Intersphere mechs usually rule the roost when it comes to having quirks with additional armor. But this guy is tanky as hell, and as you can see, I'm maxed out on all the armor points. There's no skimping anywhere along the way. And yes, 2, 2, and 3 is safe as long as you know how to drive your mech properly. So what else have I got on here? Well, I didn't go with AMS because I wanted the room for the ATM-12s, so that was kind of a no-brainer to me. And then I went with 5 double heat sinks to get me this heat management that I wanted. I've tried this back and forth with using machine guns and a couple of ballistics. At one time or another, I even ran 2 LBX-5s on here, and then I was running 3 ATM-6s. And then I've tried it with 3 LRM-15s doing the same thing. And it worked and stuff, but it just wasn't really that impressive to me. And in this particular configuration, I've had way better matches. I've had matches where, I go into one match and, it's like 500 damage. You do another match, it's like 700 damage. And, you get into a cycle where you're doing between 500 and 1,000 damage on a pretty regular basis. I think I even did an 1192 once. Yes, I keep my screens. That's why I know my numbers. When you go to the skills, obviously maxed out on range, most of the heat that I could possibly grab. I'm not worried about the laser duration because I'm using these lasers as a defensive weapon. They're really low. I mean, really low. If you actually look at them, they're actually in line with the waist area here. So you're not going to be, if you want to use these lasers at range, you're going to have to expose a lot of your mech, or you have to do left and rights. And you have to remember also the cockpit is not in the center like it is in a lot of other mechs. And even though that drives my OCD insane, I still love this mech quite a bit. So absolutely velocity, maxed out on missile features, density, armor hardening, reinforced casing, because this does have a tendency to tank a little bit. When you have an ATM build, you have to realize you're going to be in line of fire a lot. So you might want to add that reinforced casing to your heavies and assaults. I don't think it makes much of a difference on light mechs. I sometimes still do it anyways because I'm just weird. 2 in the overheat area damage. Why not? It's just free armor. Because this is an ATM build, I don't need target decay because it's you don't have indirect fire that works as well as it does on the LRMs. So it's really kind of a waste, in my opinion. Cool run, heat containment, seismic sensors. The only reason I did this here, because I do like to stand out and be a platform, and I don't like being shot in the back or rear armor inspected. And the only reason I did any of this is because I wanted the radar deprivation. If there was an option just to have radar deprivation, I probably wouldn't have even bothered with sensor range. It's a kind of a nice thing, but it's not that important to me. And then 2 cool shots in a UAV. Yeah, this thing is just really tanky as hell. And when if you look at the description, you'll see some videos that I've done in this match, or in this mech, in matches, and see really how this thing can really play out. By the way, if you're looking at doing a UAC build on this thing, yeah, this thing really will give you some fun play. But you do have to realize that the weapon is not high up in the torso, so you have to expose your right side and then shield with your left side if you're going to use those weapons. I think you can actually go as far as putting like an Ultra AC-20 in here, but I never had much success running UX in this build. But you do get 2 weapon platforms there, so that's nice. Anyway, I hope this was informative, and don't forget to hit your override, communicate in the matches, get a good microphone. That's going to be a big bonus in your world if you really want to scale up and have some really good matches. If you notice, a lot of the tier 1 players, they're communicating. It's weird. And a lot of the tier 1 players, they're using override. Oh, look, I forgot all I had. I had these. Yeah, I got some inventory here. Ooh, uncommon. Let's go with that. Yeah, duplicate on that. I've got most of the toys already. Ooh, I got a D. You can give them the D. Anyway, hope to see you in the matches.